All right, everyone, welcome back to the Rotunda Football League Draft. This is the fourth installment and allegedly the last. You never know how it will go, but this is stapled in as potentially the last year ever. So we gotta go big or go home. And before we get in, I've got two gentlemen with here, Luke Rotundo, Michael Hawkins. Very familiar faces, but maybe some different roles we'll get into in a second. But before we get started, I want to say farewell to some managers who could not return. We have a lot of personnel shaking up this year. It's a big year, big upgrades, new teams, new managers. So the United Outlaws manager, Connor Aga, is not here with us this season. You know, a 3-year veteran. I'm going to miss him in this league. He was a great player. The Midwest Express manager last year, Austin Dubek, another 3-year veteran who I won a ring with, this one on my finger. I'm going to miss that kid. And the Frontier Frost 2-year RWL veteran, Alex Coco, is not going to return. So now that raises the question, who will be taking over? We have 3 managers who are new, but are all in the league. Michael Hopkins at the end of the table right here will be taking over the Midwest Express, and I hope Austin Dubek can give him some grace there. The United Outlaws will be taken over by my big duo partner, Clayton Krish. He's going to take over that franchise. And the Frontier Frost will be taken over by no more than Tate Yannick, the journeyman of RWL. So those are some big things. Boys, before we get started, how are we feeling?
Excited. You know, it's a big year for football, a lot of talent. And I mean, we say it every year, but a lot of talent in this draft. Excited for some of the new blood. Hate to lose Michael to the Express, but understand why he makes the move. But, you know, I'm looking forward to another good year.
Michael, before I let you talk, how does it feel? You know, you're 2 years under Luke's wing. You're going to take over a franchise. How does it feel, you know, kind of moving up in the world here?
Yeah, you know, I'm ready to spread my wings a little bit, get out from under the shadow. But we're excited for the league this year. A lot of new players, and also just not keeping any of the same teams. So it's going to be a big shakeup this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And without further ado, we're gonna get into the first pick. The United Outlaws, who are actually on the clock, I've got the pick in. We'll meet you at the table. However, guys, welcome back. RWL Commissioner Ben Rotundo here. As you guys can see, since last year's draft, we got some more hardware on the fingers. Only had 1 ring last time. We got 2, but with that being said, we have the first overall pick. The United Outlaws are on the clock. They've actually traded this pick. This is a 2-pick swap with the Western Pacific, who are moving up to 1. The Western Pacific will now have 1, 13, 14, and the Outlaws will now have 2, 11, and 12. And with the first pick in the Rotunda Football League Draft, the Western Pacific select Josh Wilmot, pitcher, DH. And there it is, folks. The Western Pacific back-to-back years with the first overall pick. Blake Kurlander trades up for his guy, and we'll get Josh Wilmot. And just a little bit of analysis on this pick. This is another home run pick by Blake. You know, 3rd straight year of him coming up short. Hopefully, this is the year he gets it done. He gets a guy who can hit, who can pitch, he can do it all, and has MVP prowess if he can play all series. I really am proud of Blake Kurlander for this pick. And without further ado, the United Outlaws are on the clock for the second pick. All right, like previously stated, this would have been the Western Pacific, but the United Outlaws and new manager Clayton Krish takes a big move and moves out of the first spot, and now we'll be picking second. With the second overall pick in the Rotunda Football League Draft, the United Outlaws select Tyler Martin, infield/DH. And back to the war room here to talk about this one. Michael, I want to toss it over to you. You know, Tyler Martin, very mystery player. What do you think this is for the Outlaws and new manager Clayton Krish?
Look, I think this team has the potential to have the best lineup in the league with Clayton and then Tyler Bat coming in. It's a little bit of an unknown, but, you know, playing D1 baseball should translate.
And I want to ask Luke you a question here. When you look at the pitching aspect there, Clayton was a little wishy-washy with the pitching. And Tyler, again, we have no idea. What does that look like as a pitching aspect for the Outlaws?
I don't think it really matters. I mean, Clayton, he's going to have his typical 8 ERA, season on the mound, but it's not going to matter because they're going to score 12 runs.
All right, and I like the analysis here. Now the Frontier Frost, another, technically not a new manager, Tate Yannick is taking over for the Frost, and his 3rd team in 3 years, the journeyman, is on the clock. All right, folks, and with the 3rd overall pick in the Rotunda Football League Draft, the Frontier Frost select Connor Brock, infield, DH.
And Connor Brock going to the Frost. I absolutely love this pick. Here's a guy that's never late to a game. I mean, he's just a first in, first out kind of guy around your lineup, just a pure power hitter. Definitely just one of the best players in the league, and I just love this pick to pair him with Tate. I'm just going to grade this an A+.
And with the 4th overall pick in the 2025 Rotunda Football League Draft, the Midwest Express select Miguel Munoz, pitcher, DH. And there it is, the 4th overall pick. Back to the war room here, boys. Michael gets a guy, Miguel. Another big question mark with this guy. Just a bunch of talent. We've not seen any wiffle ball experience. So this is a big swing and miss pick. I can tell Michael the only thing I saw, the guy threw 98 miles an hour with a wiffle ball. So I mean, there's some talent there. And we'll just say there was a team allegedly very aggressively trying to trade up for him. So this is probably a good pick among the managers. Luke, how do you feel about the pick Michael made?
I love this pick. You know, here's a guy. He loves this country. He loves wiffle ball. He's gonna love this league.
Michael, I think you're in for a good one. And the 5th overall pick, Central Cowboys. Luke is on the clock at the moment. And with the 5th overall pick in the 2025 Rotunda Wiffle Ball League Draft, the Central Cowboys select Luke Parker, pitcher, infield.
Really like this pick here by Luke, taking Luke Parker. We saw last year that he was a great pitcher for the Frost, and he can also hit. It'll also let Luke play first base more and not have to pitch as much. And now on the clock, the Southern Serpents.
And I think the guy before me forgot to report that the defending champs are actually on the clock. So the 6th overall pick in the 2025 Rotunda Wiffle Ball League Draft, the Southern Serpents select Andrew Faraka, infield, DH.
Yeah, you know, Andrew Faraka going 6 over the Serpents. I love this pick. I mean, this a testament to how deep this draft is. I mean, there's so much talent on the board. You know, he's a first-time player, baseball player at his core. I think he's going to be a great addition to the league, and he's going to be a great addition to the defending champions. Yet again, making him a contender. Michael, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, not much known about this kid, but you know, a lot of potential, baseball background. So if anyone can make it work, Serpents have come through before.
And with that being said, the Serpents, due to the snake draft, no pun intended, are picking 7th as well, and we'll meet you at the draft. With the 7th overall pick in the 2025 Rotunda Wiffle Ball League Draft, the Southern Serpents select Chase Krish, infield, DH. The Krish legacy lives on, baby.
And we got the Southern Serpents taking Chase Krish. A bold pick here. That's 2 picks in a row for the Serpents with no film on these players. But as we said before, Serpents have been able to develop players. Chase, high school baseball player, so there's some history there with the bat in his hand. So we'll see how he does.
Yeah, and again, this is a testament to how deep this draft is. I mean, look around. Look who's still left on the board. You still got Blaine Ryan. You got Jax Andrews. You got Everett Kaplan. I mean, this is how deep this draft is, folks. I mean, to see names like those go this late in the draft is just a testament to this league. And I think if this plays going to work out for anybody, it's going to be Serpents with their player development. So I'm just excited to see how this pans out.
Obviously very excited. The 8th overall pick, the Central Cowboys on the clock, and like Luke said, so many routes to go here. We're excited to see where they go, so we'll see you at the desk. All right, with the 8th overall pick in the Rotunda Wiffle Ball League Draft, the Central Cowboys select Blaine Ryan, pitcher, infield. And there's a huge pick for Luke Rotundo. Coming into this draft, folks, there was rumors about his arm not being able to throw. He goes out and gets 2 pitchers, probably some of the best in the league. And this is a huge pick here. I'm very excited to see how the Cowboys look. Very different than last year. Luke might be the 3rd arm in this room. Blaine Ryan at 8 is probably the best value you can possibly get. Very excited for the Cowboys. And now the 9th overall team, the Midwest Express, are on the clock. And with the 9th overall pick in the Rotunda Wiffle Ball League Draft, the Midwest Express select Daniel Hopkins, infield.
And the Hopkins brotherly connection will live on. Daniel Hopkins absolutely loved this pick. One of the key cornerstones of the World Series win 2 years ago. Last year batting top 5 in the league, over 400 average. Not a lot of people talk about him as one of the best hitters in RWL, but my bet is he'll continue to prove it this season.
And with the 10th overall pick in the 2025 Rotunda Wiffle Ball League Draft, the Frontier Frost select Jax Andrews, pitcher, DH.
And Jax Andrews, 10th overall to the Frost. Absolutely love this pick. This is a Cy Young level pitcher. And to get him at 10 in the draft feels like an insane value pick for Tate Yannick in his first year here as the Frost manager. Yeah, I'm going to give this one an A+. Love this pick. Excited to see what he can do on the mound and at the plate.
And with the 11th pick in the 2025 Rotunda Wiffle Ball League Draft, the United Outlaws select Everett Kaplan, infield, DH. And I'm not going to be biased here, but I absolutely love this pick for Clayton Krish. You know, obviously reuniting some chemistry here with Everett Kaplan. Guy essentially won the World Series there with his bat in Game 1. I'm very happy for him to see him go and be with a former Serpent. I give this pick an A, very good value pick, and I'm excited for the Outlaws. And with the 12th overall pick in the Rotundo Wiffle Ball League Draft, the United Outlaws select Aaron Shaheeney, infield. I don't want to ring a bell twice, but I'm very unbiased of this pick here. Aaron Shaheeney, another guy I brought into this league. Very proud of him and what he did for us last year. And again, chemistry, 3 former Serpents on one team, and it's going to be a blast to watch those guys play. Another great value pick. Good bat to get in the 3rd round, and Clayton Krish outdone himself with this pick. And with the 13th overall pick in the 2025 Rotundo Wiffle Ball League Draft, the Western Pacific select Stefano Kotsonis, infield, DH.
And Stefano going 13 overall to the Western Pacific. Love this pick for Blake. You get a proven bat that's playing this league for a couple years, has playoff experience, knows what it's like to play in the World Series. This is a kid that I think could really show up big this year for the Pacific and a potential deep playoff run. So I love this pick.
And with the 14th overall pick in the 2025 Rotundo Wiffle Ball League Draft, the Western Pacific select Stephen Connell, infield. And a little bit of a draft shock here potentially. Blake Herlander gets Stephen Connell at 14. A lot of the managers thought he was going a little bit later, but I played with the guy year 1, won a ring with him. So, the league's transformed a lot in those 2 years he's been absent, so I'm excited to see how he's back out there. But, big frame, I think he can hit the ball. So, very excited to see him on Blake's team. And now Tate Yannick will round out his draft class here at 15. And with the 15th overall pick in the 2025 Rotundo Wiffle Ball League Draft, the Frontier Frost select Jaden Patel, infield, defense. Ring me a bell if you've seen these two players play together.
And 15 overall, Jaden Patel going to the Frost and an RWL record. That's going to be his 4th year playing with his glorious manager, Tate Yannick. Again, it speaks how deep this draft is. A Gold Glover going 15 overall. This is the type of kid that's, been talked about in circles, going top 8, top 10. But, he slides all the way to 15, getting a Gold Glover. I just absolutely love this pick.
And with the 16th overall pick in the 2025 Rotundo Wiffle Ball League Draft, the Midwest Express select Khalil Patel, infield. And another wild card off the board here, 16th overall. Brothers going back-to-back. Michael gets Khalil Patel. He had a little bit of a run last year with the Express. Lands in a familiar team. Maybe some of that experience he can carry over. He's an athletic kid, good frame. Hopefully he can be a solid 4-hitter for Michael, so I'd like to take that. And with the 17th overall pick in the 2025 Rotundo Wiffle Ball League Draft, Southern Serpents select Tate Rotundo. Welcome home, baby. Let's go.
And Tate Rotundo going 17th overall to the Serpents. Love this pick. You're pairing the 2 brothers together, but also the Serpent player development. This is a player that has a lot of potential and I think could be a cornerstone for this franchise.
And with the 18th overall pick in the 2025 Rotundo Wiffle Ball League Draft, Central Cowboys select Luke Van Eyck, infield. And with the 18th overall pick, Luke Rotundo gets Luke Van Eyck, the 3rd Luke here. Michael, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, you said it, 3 Lukes on one team. That'll be interesting. Maybe some chemistry there. But Luke Van Eyck, really solid at-bats in the playoffs. I think his manager will be very happy if he can replicate those.
Now, folks, that'll conclude the 2025 Rotundo Wiffle Ball League Draft. Very jam-packed one. Before we unpack how we feel about the other teams, how they're shaking up, I want to go through all the 3 of us here and see how we feel about how we ended up after the draft. I'll start with myself, if you guys don't mind. I think I got 3 great kids on my team. I think the only thing we obviously can see is none of them have been in the league before. I have 3 rookies on my team, no tape or anything. So we're just gonna, we're rolling the dice on the table, hoping to repeat and win 3 out of the rings out of 4 years, which would be amazing. But I'm very excited, and hopefully we can get to work with these guys. Luke, how do you feel on your plan to try to replace what Michael had for your production last year?
Yeah, trying to replace Michael is next to impossible, and so I'm trying to do that by drafting 2 pitchers. Getting Luke Parker at 5 feels ridiculous. Getting Blaine at 8 feels even more ridiculous. And then having 3 Lukes on one roster feels insane. I think we got a really well-constructed roster. I think everybody's going to bring something special to this team, so I'm looking forward to getting to work with these guys.
And Michael, first year as a manager, I liked the picks you made. How do you feel about how your roster's shaking up today?
Yeah, I think the draft went really well. Taking Miguel first round, I think he's a really high upside player. Obviously, throws really hard, can hit too. So that's a really good pick. I'm excited about. And then taking Daniel, my brother, for the 9th overall pick. Really good player. Played really well with the Cowboys last year. Really good contact hitter. So excited about that. And then taking Khalil, really solid pick for my 3rd round pick. So really just rounded out a well-constructed team.
And now, folks, I want everyone to, all of us to talk about, how we think some of the other teams shaking up and, what interests us, who slid too far, who went too high. But for me, the team that is just, coming off this computer to me is the United Outlaws, Clayton Krish. I think he had a phenomenal draft. He traded back to get Tyler Martin, and then he stays in that 11-12, picking back-to-back, gets 2 guys who are on the Serpents. So he's got the chemistry, and I think that's the best lineup in the league on paper. I think Everett and Aaron are not 4 hitters in this league. I think they are potentially 2 if you're pushing it, but no worse than 3. So on paper, you got the best hitting team in the league, maybe. The pitching we'll probably have to figure out, but I'm really intrigued to see how that works out. And for me, the pick I think I really like the most is I think Stefano to the Pacific is really nice at 13. I think he did have a down year last year, but he's played in 2 World Series. He was almost an All-Star 2 years ago. I think, maybe giving him another home could help him out, and maybe him sliding a little farther could be some motivation. But I like how Blake got that at 13.
Yeah, no, I agree with that analysis. I think for my the team that's really jumping out of the sheet for me is going to be the Western Pacific. I think Blake. I think he's the story everyone's rooting for. Getting Josh Wilmot number 1. I mean, arguably one of the best players in the league, MVP caliber. And then you pair him with a guy like Stefano. He's a great player. Again, competing in the World Series.
Steven too.
And then Steven as well. He played the World Series in the first year. Used to play for Ben and the Serpents, so I think that's just a really well constructed team. I'm interested to see kind of how that shakes out. And in terms of value, I mean, I gotta go to Jay Patel at 15. I mean, to get a Gold Glover at 15 just feels ridiculous. I mean, the guy gets on base, he produces in the outfield, so I just love that pick for Tate Yonick and the Frost.
Michael, what do you think here?
Yeah, the Frost, I think are going to be a great team this year. Just starting with Tate and Connor with their bats, that is going to be a very difficult 1-2 in the lineup to deal with. And then, like Luke talked about, Jaden there with the Gold Glover. So their fielding is obviously going to be good, especially with Tate and Jaden and Connor. He's also a good fielder. And then you've got Jax, and then you've got Jax pitching. He's kind of the wild card of the team. Like, that team can really do something special if Jax can get back to some of his form that he's shown before in this league. So I actually think Jax actually is my value pick for this draft. I think if he can find it this year, I think Tate's got something special cooking.
And you think about that too. The Frontier Frost is the team of hooligans, man. You got Tate, Connor, Jax, and Jaden. I mean, that's going to be a ruckus locker room. But if anyone can handle it, it's Tate. And before we get out of here, any closing thoughts on how the draft went, how the season will go?
I think that there are some teams this year that are really strong in hitting, some teams that are really strong in pitching, and I think every team this year has a chance to win it. So really excited.
Yeah, this is probably the closest we've got to league parity, at least on paper. Just kind of excited to see how the games shake out, and we're me and Benners, we have so much fun putting this on for everybody. So I hope you all enjoyed as much as we do, and looking forward to a good year.
Yeah, I just want to close it. Obviously, I thank all of you guys who are coming back to play with us for 1 year, or if it's your first time playing, and even if you could not play this year and you're watching this, I appreciate the service you guys put in, because it's a lot of work for us and everyone out there. But hoping for a fun year, and we'll see you guys. I guess opening day is the next video, so see you guys there. I am sweating.